Yo, what's up, guys? What's happening? If you guys want to look up the playlist for today, if you like the chill vibe, we got it right here. I'll just drop that right there. I know y'all usually ask me for what kind of music I'm listening to, so you have it there. All right, what's up? What's up, y'all? What's the word? How we doing today? We're back in the shy, back at home. Super thankful to make it back. Grateful to be able to travel, to be able to stream, to be able to just have this skill, put in the hours, put in the. I mean, if, at this point, like years of just absolute dedication. And it goes back to you guys. Don't stop. Keep growing the skill. Work on the right things, and you'll definitely see it all come together. So let me go ahead and get the chat going here. A little pop out chat. All right. And then let me make sure audio is good. Streaming. All right, give me one sec. Let me see if I can do something real quick. Frames are dropping a bit, unfortunately. Let's see, where is the mic picking up from right now? We got, okay, that's weird. All right, we're good. Let's see. Let me make sure that this looks like it's dropping a lot of frames. Why? Bandwidth. Why is it so low? Okay. So you guys can let me know if it's chopping up or anything, but we should be good. All right, what's up, Edgar? ¿Qué tal? What's up, Sarah, Justina, Nash Short? Oh yeah, we'll dive into that. You already know. What's up, Dan B from Dallas? What's up, Dan? ¿Qué tal, primo? What's up, Hector? We got Michael in here, Seth, Mimi, Mateo, Rosemary, Puccini, Matez. Morning, Linda. Good to see you on here. Nora, what up? Oh, if any of you guys are based in Chicago, shoot me a message. We can definitely get together for about maybe an hour or two tomorrow. All right, what up, everyone? Joe, Patrick, I see you. Greg, Amy, Friso, Sen, Jorge. You asked un poco más de diferencias de los tres tipos de cuenta en Apex. Son diferentes plataformas, entonces la que yo utilizo más es Tradetopia. Creo que es lo que te da la mejor, es como la mejor experiencia en plataforma. Yeah. It's what's it called? Yeah. So, and I have no affiliate or anything here, but yeah, they're doing a 90% off of Apex. So if you guys are trading futures and prop firms, they are doing a 90% off evals for the next 4.5 days. And it's just through here. There's like not even a specific link or anything. And then just make sure if you are going to do one, there's like different platforms. Personally, I'm more of a Tradevate one. That's kind of I think it's just the easiest experience. It's cloud-based, so you don't have to download a program. You can just kind of trade off Tradevate. And you connect it to your TradingView account. And then if it's your first account that you're doing here, start small, do a 25, 50K. You get kind of the most bang for your buck anyways. But considering these discounts are pretty fat right now, these are going to be like $20. Yeah, definitely worth it. Because at the end of the day, what really matters is how much trailing drawdown you get. 2,500 is a lot better. Like here you have 2,500 and then you only got to make 3. Here you get 3,000, but you gotta make 6. So relatively, the 50Ks are kind of give you the most. It's the easiest to pass technically. But yeah, I would do that, and then I wouldn't go and get 20 accounts unless you're, you're pretty damn good at passing these. But cool. With that being said, let me dive into the charts. Go ahead, guys, hit the like button for the stream. Let's get some exposure in here. Let's get the people on. You already know we're streaming. As long as I'm basically not on vacation, I'm streaming every day. Trading live. You guys get to see the wins and losses in real time as well. So yeah, you guys get to see everything real time. So I give away for free what people charge hundreds of dollars a month for, thousands of dollars a year for. With that being said, I do have a like mentorship program that I do have, but that is definitely more for the very serious, the very committed, those that are not just kind of playing around with this and want way more hands-on work. We're a lot more focused on the different dimensions of trading and the technique and the elements of passing these accounts and kind of rewiring your identity. So I am opening only 5 slots for the rest of the month. Now that I'm back, definitely can go and get the ball rolling. So if that is you, then definitely apply at tradetopia.pro/syndicate-enrollment. I'll go ahead and I'll just drop that in here real quick. But okay, what do you guys see for indices today? How are you guys looking at the market? What are we feeling here? You guys more leaning on bullish, bearish? Are we feeling Dow and Q? If we're feeling ES today, how can we say New York open at 8:30? Because that's when we get the volume. Hold on, what's happening here? Yeah, so the stock market will open here. So why do you think 8 o'clock then 8:30? Yeah, you can definitely link your trade of it, even if it's through different firms, for sure. What's up, everyone? All right, so we have New York open in 90 seconds. So we're gonna get a kick of volume here. So let me do a quick split screen. I'm on widescreen as well right now. So for some of you that want an excellent experience, I know some of you stream to you have it casted on your TV, so that might be a good time. You might get the full range, maximum experience. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. I went over this last night with the syndicate members, but shorts have really been doing pretty well considering the divergence with Dow. We had this. There's actually a really nice short during Asian session where it cleared these highs and then gave us the lower high on Dow and then the mitigation as well. So that's pretty nice. But right now I see a buildup of liquidity. So either we're going to sweep this down and then maybe we get some sort of shakeout play, or we push up into this range and then sell off again. So that's possible considering we've dropped down to here and we've traded pretty bearish anyways. So maybe we get a short over here. I'm not going to be quick to make any quick decisions here. I want to see how the market's just been moving, and NASDAQ has just gone very, very bearish, and I think we could also see a short on NQ. So I want to see what price action looks like during, right now. We're going to see the market start to move. So I want to see where things go. Are we going to get Dow to kick things off bullish or bearish? And then, where's liquidity going and all that good stuff. So, yeah, let's see how this unfolds. And look at the lows we have here from after yesterday's New York Open, and the market, drops pretty aggressively. We can tell that price doesn't sit here for very long. So when I see something like that, I'm thinking, okay, do we eventually work our way back down to here? And if you look, this kind of move also happened here with Dow. But we already worked our way down to these levels with Dow Jones. So at this moment, we have to ask ourselves, we have to ask ourselves, what's going to have the most, like the best possible chance of playing out. So you can see, even if we look at structure, this is where we're at here right now. This is the current trend that we're in. We've been moving bullish and then working our way back down. This over here, not the best structure because it comes up and down so fast. So right now I want to see, do we get below liquidity, below key levels, and then make our move. And what we just saw was we just cleared these London session lows. So NASDAQ is getting below this right now, and we're seeing Dow pushing below this area as well. This right here, these are the London lows. There's definitely retail money sitting here. So London lows. Retail buys are set in stone here. Usually, if you want to take long positions, if you want to buy, you're looking for an entry below the previous session or the previous sessions. So clearing below here and definitely clearing below here. This is like end of New York session, the low that it made. So I definitely want to see Dow get below this, and I feel like that'll probably bring NASDAQ into this level as well. So to get more detail with the market here, now that we're watching NASDAQ and Dow unfold in real time, now that we're getting more volatility today, here we see that last sweep down. The market doesn't really come back to trade out of these levels, so I do think we can get a reversal out of here, and especially considering that Dow is much more bearish at the moment, significantly more bearish, and I think that's going to make a huge difference here. So let's see if we can get Dow to get below all of this. So yesterday's low, there's a bunch of liquidity here. Tons of retail money sitting right over here. Because any sort of buys from yesterday had stops below these areas. When it came back down to here, similar type of experience. So this might be a target later on. It might happen now, it might happen later. Okay, now, key things. We just saw the clearance of liquidity of these lows. So now in real time, we just saw the market push down, quickly get right away from these prices, which means that there's really no demand down here. So it doesn't seem like we're getting these lows over here are, I mean, yeah, they're not in demand, which means that price doesn't really want to trade down here, and specifically with NASDAQ as well. So when we see the market push down quickly and leave, or we don't trade here very long, these are starting to indicate signs that the market can go from here. The market can push higher from this range. So when I'm looking at making a decision here, I want the market to really prove to us that it wants to trade at these higher levels, that we actually are, bullish. So we want to just maintain this before looking for any longs. Same thing goes, and it might be down. I don't know which one of these two it's going to be. So we let the market decide. We let it give us information. We let it prove itself to us so that we can give it some money. So for example, if NASDAQ starts to drop down here now, right away, then no, I don't want to take NASDAQ as a buy. So I need this to give me more information first. So step one, the liquidity capture, fantastic. Step two is that we need to see the market actually hold these levels. so that we can see, okay, there's definitely demand, and then we can look for some buys. Right now, it's looking like these are starting to qualify as a proper setup. Okay. So what we'll do here, let me log in real quick. So, un momento, por favor. I was logged in on my other computer. All right. Okay. Okay. Let me just check in with the chat real quick. So look at, and we can even split it here. I mean, I guess I don't even have to look at TradingView if I don't really want to. I can just do it over here. So looking at both, we're starting to see, and first of all, we can actually look at YM versus NQ, since this is going to be a more precise chart. And guys, what looks like a better opportunity for a buy now? Dow Jones or NASDAQ? Dow Jones or NASDAQ? What looks like a better buy? What do you guys have for me? Dow Jones, right? So we need this. And we want to make sure that price trades here, and we can kind of hold this a little bit longer, but then I'm definitely down for a buy over here. So we want to make sure that you have the right risk amount, and if you're trading minis, so YM, this number is going to say $5 a contract. If you're trading micros, so MYM, then it's going to say 0.5, which is 50 cents. And depending on what that looks like, I'm either going to trade micros or minis. I'm looking at the YM chart because it is going to be more accurate than the NASDAQ chart. So, okay, look, NQ pushing down already while Dow is holding this up. This is really solid. This is a good sign that Dow is going to want to run to the upside. Solid. Very good. Okay, so now that we're seeing it that way, now that we're witnessing this kind of move. Okay. Little 3-minute chart here. Little sweep. See some support, a whole bunch of support in the past. That's like where I like to take my entry within the, once it has a liquidity capture and we notice there's, repeatable reversal levels. This is where I like to take my positions. So now, let's go ahead here. Let's look to add an order. Look at the difference. NASDAQ way down here. Dow still chilling up there. Fantastic. So a trade like this would be, let me double check. All right, 33-ish. 30 points around here. Decent. Okay. So either I can do 33 micros or I can do 3 minis. And I'm going to be slightly under leveraged if I do 3 minis. Here's the chart again. Here's just a different perspective. Let me zoom out on NQ real quick. NQ working its way down to these levels. Look at how NASDAQ right now quickly pushed down, traded into this order block, and then immediately lost that momentum. Solid. Okay. So now we're seeing this. We're seeing how the market is holding up. Bullish. We may get confirmation here soon. This is just indices. Obviously, we can look at, metals and all that good stuff. All right. And what I'm liking with this is market has been trading here for a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. We just been up here while NQ dropped and made lower lows. Captured liquidity. Dow is still trading relatively fine up here. So it's starting to prove itself more and more. This is not my favorite. It's not a whole bunch of time. It's not a whole bunch of demand. We quickly saw the sweep, and then we got out of these levels quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes or so that we're trading up here. So we'll see here. I'm not in love with this quite yet. Plus, something that's interesting is now we're kind of getting a flip in price action again. We're starting to see now NASDAQ go higher and Dow go lower. These are the kind of price actions that I'm not a huge fan of when the market does things like this, where it's kind of back and forth. They're in opposing directions. So I'm gonna stay away from this trade. Unfortunately, I don't like the fact that now Dow Jones is coming down and NASDAQ is coming right back up. So this might play out. This might rip. Or I can actually approach this with less risk. That's another option. So that's another way we can look at this. Is it worth less risk than usual? Now, another thing that we can consider is this. Are we going to see NASDAQ? Is NASDAQ creating a shakeout where it cleared the lows? Now it's pushing much higher. So you see how we get NASDAQ down to here. NASDAQ captura liquidez. Y ahora viene subiendo. So is that what we're noticing? So, all right, I'm going to give it some time. I want to see how the price is going to unfold here, where we're kind of meeting. So what I'm willing to do for a trade like this is I'm willing to risk less. Now, could we pull the trigger here since it's kind of starting to slow down? You could, but now your risk reward takes a massive hit. You take a massive hit on your risk reward. So I'm not a fan of that. I would rather have a quality risk reward than, because of FOMO, because what if it leaves without me? Then you end up taking a trade where you have to take this significantly much higher. And I think we can go, much higher, but just something to keep in mind here. Now look at how price action is unfolding here. Okay, so now we're seeing NASDAQ push higher. Look at this. Now we're seeing signs that this sweep to the downside on NQ was to sweep liquidity, and then now NASDAQ is starting to push higher, and Dow is starting to range a little bit here. So I will say this is not the easiest price action to trade. Now all of a sudden you make in time, real game time decisions, real market decisions. We're starting to see the fact that when price came down and right back up, this is holding up pretty well. So this is giving us signs that NQ is not necessarily the motive behind the move to the downside wasn't to make lower lows. That to me looks a bit more like what the purpose behind price action is here. NASDAQ now picking up more momentum. Beautiful. So this is fine. I'm okay with missing out on Dow. Maybe it runs, maybe it doesn't. But now we're seeing NASDAQ pick up more volume, get more bullish price action. Perfect. So either we get a higher high, and then this confirms a mitigation setup, or maybe we just range up here for some good time, And then if it dips down, we take a buy. So either way, market's looking relatively decent here. Now, and you just saw in real time, my buy switch from Dow to NASDAQ. And now I'm going to stay out of this trade on Dow. I'm staying out. And I'm going to wait and see if we can get NASDAQ to come back down in a bit here and then take a position there. Meanwhile, remember, we still have these lows over here. So Dow may still target this liquidity there. So this is what it's like to cancel your trade. Or for me in this case, right? I kept canceling my idea here because I could see if NASDAQ wants to drop and these now stay trading together, Dow can keep going lower. So not taking this, no estoy vendiendo Dow porque ya vimos el cambio de acción de precio con NASDAQ. And if Dow just works and it runs, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Oh no, I missed out on a trade. Yes and no. You know, we're seeing this back and forth between price action, and I would rather make a qualified decision than make a decision out of a place of a lack, a place of scarcity. Well, fuck, I mean, I could make money. Yeah, you can always make money, but that's the responsibility of trading. The responsibility of trading is making decisions that are based off your system, not based off of your desires. And look at that. It would have played out, right? It would have played out, at least as far as right now, with these a couple points and whatever. Because we might get this move here. So I'm waiting on this one. So this drops another 20 points or so, and yeah, that I'll be in the game. 25 points or so from where it's at now. All right. So got a limit set there. Look at that. Here it goes. Dow pushing lower now. Beautiful. Probably going to target this. And then I think we'll see NQ go over here. So we can set a limit right there. And then let's make sure this is MNQ so we can see it clearly. Did that not set a limit, or am I tripping here? Okay, let me double check. I didn't just put 10 on NQ. Okay, good. I was like, I'm not really trying to trade. And look, if I'm gonna trade 10 on NQ, then I actually can just trade a mini on here. So let me take a little mini here. Little mini baby. All right, we're set in stone. Ready to roll. So you look at how Dow is starting to create more liquidity here. See that? So right here, what we can end up seeing is the market push further down, and that's probably like this is more than likely what's going to, where is the drawing tool? Where's this thing? All right, it's over here, that's right. More than likely what's gonna clear the move here and then allow the market to push higher. So this is more of what I'm looking for. Something like that. And then that's what could set up this trade here. And then we can take this bad boy down to here. And then let it rip into here, maybe into here. Yeah, something like that. This is what we're waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So while that's getting ready, getting all set up, let me go check out the chat here. What's good, y'all? Appreciate everyone for being active in here. Made that mistake before looking at NQ and executing a trade on gold. Yeah, for sure. Definitely make sure you're matching your orders with the proper, with like what you're actually trading. So always check, okay, am I trading the right asset? Is it matching, etc. What are your entry numbers on NAS? It's so small. Let me see if I can make it a little larger. But my entry is 23,350. Boom. There you go. Can't miss it now. Again, nice and nicely. This should be easy to see, right? Okay, what's up, GU? Patrick, yeah, I looked at CFDs. So this is similar. If you're going to look at CFDs, you're looking at, the prices are going to be different with CFDs. So if you're trading on like a, Trade Locker, MetaTrader, those, then your indices are going to look different. This is NASDAQ, NAS 100, whatever. Price is going to look different, but the structure is going to look very similar. Okay. Now, another thing we can consider is this, and this is going to depend on how Dow is trading. But Dow here, after New York Open, it takes out these highs, gets into equal highs, so never mind. We won't really look at that. The option is this, and I'm going to go into a trading view chart here for a second. Man, this really ripped without us. Did anybody take the NASDAQ buy like right there? Did anyone kind of just, once you got this little order block right there, anyone take that? That's like sometimes a nice trade right there, and you just like, it sweeps liquidity, and then you just it creates one order block and then it rips. So this is where I want to trade out of now, but sometimes the creation of that order block, it's kind of a conviction play, but this would have been super nice. You're in? Nice, Giovanni. Yeah, I'm going to look at majors right now. I got out the magnifying glass. That's so funny. Buying EuroCAD. What up? GU. I like it with less risk. I ended up not taking it, and hopefully that was updated on time through the stream. I don't think there's a big lag or anything. So currently getting my credits up for the syndicate. Sarah, apply for a call, and then we can walk through it. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, you get $500 credits towards the syndicate for your engagement, interaction with the community in the Tradetopia community. For journaling your trades, you get one for finishing the Tradetopia, the Trader's Launchpad, the Smart Money Playbook, and things like that. And then also, we'll be doing some credit giveaways as well for active members in the community. We'll be doing that here in the near future. Actually, I'll do one later today. So make sure you're active in the community, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Look at majors and all right, cool. So let's take a look at some different things. I have on my other screen, I have my eyes on the indices anyways. So I got it here. We're locked and loaded. So, one second, guys. Okay. What's the, in the chat, drop in the chat what you want me to look at, whether it's the majors, metals. We'll start with metals. Gold and silver are always fun. Where are my metal heads in here? Where are the metal heads? Slowly but surely, we're working our way to the zone where I like a buy, or I had a thought for a buy. The downside to this idea was I did see some. Actually, I don't know why I drew this line. I don't know if I see equal lows here anymore. Do I see equal lows here? This kind of clears liquidity, so I wouldn't say all that. But what we do want to do here with this idea, and remember, Sophia had asked me about buying gold here. And I talked about how if you are going to look for buys on gold, remember you want to keep track of what silver is doing, and you also want to make sure that there's just enough structure. So here we see the sweep of liquidity, big spike down, the market comes right back up, and then it's just kind of chopping up and down here. So it goes up and comes back down, and goes up, comes back down. So not the best in structure. And then if you look at silver, silver was holding structure just better anyways. It was trading just higher. So right now, between gold and silver, when silver drops, it's a lot less aggressive. There's less, like you can see here's where Thursday's pre-New York session was. And then during, just a couple hours ago, it barely slips under it and then it comes back up. Whereas gold, on the other hand, is trading well below these lows. It's dropping faster. So right now, gold, in my opinion, is just more bearish. It's much more bearish. So keep your eyes on this, guys, for sure. We'll stay mindful of metals overall. Did anyone end up shorting gold from earlier this week? Over here on Tuesday. Then you had a distribution, a second entry on Wednesday in London. London session's getting some nice entries. What I like about gold is you can get entries on gold in any session, basically. Like any session's gonna give you an opportunity. So pretty sweet. Okay, so as of now, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit, it feels like we're starting to see some distribution on gold. And I'm talking about higher time frame distribution. So I'm saying I think we might start this quarter 3 downfall and set up for quarter 4 buys. So I wouldn't be shocked if we end up selling for a bit and working our way down. So for example, I think swings on shorts maybe going into next week look pretty interesting, and that might bring us to like these April lows that we made. So if you look at how the market's been trading, I think at some point we still make our way down to here. And, we'll compare gold and silver on the macro as well. And so I'm looking for some sort of shorts. This really was the move, but I'm looking for secondary opportunities to work our way all the way down to this zone. This may take some time. Honestly, it might not even take that much time. And the reason I don't think it would take that long is because we've been moving sideways with gold for about 5 months. So if we move sideways like this, usually the moves down they don't really take that long. So you might see, a week or two worth of price moving into the zone and then setting up. So we'll see. This might range a little bit longer. I don't know quite yet, so we'll have to kind of just keep that in mind. So basically looking for at some point some sort of shorts, and then to work our way down to here. And then from here, we'll see ourselves probably do something, have another massive move. So, but this is more than likely, usually these lows we get sometime during quarter 4. So for example, here we got, whether it was November or you end up getting the entry in December. And I'd have to switch over the contracts to give you guys the perspective, but yeah, you can look at seasonality and all that good stuff and get a good take on it. So for now, yeah, so let me go ahead and actually just give you guys some, let's see. I'm going to make a specific one on gold. So gold macro. So what is this, weekly? And actually, let me ask you guys, would you guys want to have something like this where it's like a chart or a breakdown just for one asset class, for higher time frame, lower time frame, and then you can kind of refer back to it? So I can make a category in here and I'll just call it like macro perspective, like higher time frame perspective, you know? And then you go, okay, where am I on this? Like, it's like for things that like you want to swing trade, or for investments, we can kind of like, well, for investments, you can see them in here. So like for stocks and crypto, we can just, you should just be able to check in right there. But for things like this, then you can see like, oh, here's the higher time frame perspective on gold or on whatever. So that's not the chart that I wanted. Why are you not making a new thing? Okay, that's weird. All right, that's not working for some reason, so let's just do this. Still don't know if that worked, but no. Why? Okay. Well, that's weird. Right now, also, guys, we're seeing quite the drop on Dow, so I'm going to go over that here. I'm going to just update this, all right? So this is, what, July 25? 2025. Okay. So I'll get back to this. I do want to just quickly go back to this. So look at this. Now we're seeing Dow bleeding out. So good thing we didn't take a short. We waited, and then we're trading now into this zone. So now we're at July 23 after New York Open in this range here. Meanwhile, NQ is holding it down, dude. NQ just chilling. It's not even trying to go down. Like, it's barely making a dent to the downside right now. So the bullish structure, beautiful at this point. Very, very, very solid. And we can see this is a textbook now. It's become a textbook mitigation setup where we see the market drop aggressively to the downside right there. We're trading above this now, and we have been for 15 minutes or so. We're in a new hour. So reversals out of here look fantastic. Playing out of these areas, 23, 350-ish, just in this zone overall looks fantastic. Here we've seen reversals before as well. So we can tell, right? These are just key reversal zones right over here. Okay, there we go. Now we're starting to drop here. Come on now. All right. Here we are. There's Dow. So as we spoke about earlier. Beautiful. Clearing these lows. I will probably get below here too. I think we're going to push into this London session liquidity that was built there. And I wonder if that's what finally brings NASDAQ over here. So I'm patient. I'm waiting, dropping a mini on NQ here. And this, the RR potential here is honestly pretty fantastic. Easily, I think we get below or above a 3R and we trade into closer to a 3.5R territory. As long as we can get into the zone and then make the move. But the market right now traded here, up here again. So we're still withstanding, and despite having the wicks over here, market is trading above these highs. All right, let me check the chat. GU, please. I can look at GU. Just entered a long on EAU. EAU. Can you just like Euro odd or ES? On gold. Okay. He took it long on gold. All right. I don't think I had anything on gold here. I'm not trading gold right now. I'm chilling on that. All right, so we're getting more consolidation up here. Fantastic. Dow's still pushing further down. Great. Okay. All right. I've been asked about GU multiple times, so let's take a look at it. GU, oh nice. Yeah, GU playing into imbalance. Great. Fantastic. Playing into this short here. So independently, this looks great. There's very little demand here, so a push back down, and we could still get another long in here. I want to see. I'm gonna have an alert here when Dow clears this low again. Okay, so independently looking at GU, it came all the way down to this imbalance and it's starting to reject. That's great. Now, obviously, you guys know I don't just trade one asset class. I do keep in mind multiple, right? So majors in general. This low was from Sunday, July 20th, and it's a sweep to the downside and then it rallies. So I'll look at Euro and get a good idea on that. Euro is nowhere near this type of price action, like not even close. Euro played into the sell-off that we had over here. So it's just playing different price action, but it's mitigating nonetheless. So we're seeing this reversal, and this is a different structure anyways, but we're seeing the mitigation of these sells, and you can notice how their order blocks, they're playing out of different elements in the market, different sell-offs in the market. So Euro played out of there while GU played out of here. So yeah, this is moving really nicely right now. If you look at the market, whether it's Australian, you can see that Canadian dollar, the dollar's not really defeating the Canadian the same way. Same thing with the yen, NZD, Swiss franc. So if you look at all of these majors, the one that's getting the best, I'd say, reaction right now is pound. GBP, with the move down, rejects, comes down again, comes higher. So at this point, you're starting to see the market get above these highs. So again, just to give you guys some comparison, here's Australian, here's the pound. Canadian's not doing anything. Euro isn't making higher highs yet, so we're not seeing this. Again, look at the difference, right? GU, the pound trading higher. Everything else is not quite pushing at that same pace. So these are examples where we might get a shift to the upside on the pound. So if we were to get some sort of accumulation, then yeah, I would like buy setups here. But that would be my preference for sure. Now, outside of that, we've seen overall, though, we're seeing GU drop more aggressively just beforehand. So if I were to make a decision on, okay, well, are there other trades that we can make here? I definitely see some. For example, right here. Yesterday's, right around New York, opened this news event, dollar news event, market pumps, drops here, makes up one more move and then drops again. Could we see reversals out of a zone here? I think so. You can look at it's the same scenario with other currency pairs. The yen looks really nice. I wonder if this was a mitigation. So the yen here, there's the news event, dollar news. You see a pump right there. Clears it, drops, builds liquidity. I think we're going to come back over here. Makes these highs. This gets really close, plays out of this imbalance. The argument is, did this mitigate or not? That is really going to be the argument there. Because there's still an imbalance over here. So let me zoom in a little more. I see. Here we go. So we definitely see an up, like it picks up during the news event, stalls out, and then another move higher, then it drops. Okay, so that can get mitigated. But then you also have this move here. And this happens here during Asian session where the market pumps into this area and then drops again. So 2 zones, 2 key areas. You can put some alerts here. All right. Here's the yen. USD JPY is going to look like the opposite of this. So flip it if you're trading CFDs. All right, let me take this here. For whatever reason, this is not copying. Okay. All right, so we got some trades here. July 25, 2025. So 6J. Short ideas. Keep in mind divergence with other majors. Okay. So I'll send that here in a sec. Quick update on indices. NASDAQ still trading really well, holding it down. We're seeing resurgence right now with the yen. If the market holds these highs, and maybe shakeout, but I'd still lean on NASDAQ for sure. This doesn't have to be the case though. This might just come down and get lower. So I wouldn't necessarily just assume this is going to be a shakeout just because it does this. You want to see demand. But NASDAQ already trading much more bullish anyways. I would rather take the buy because we already have a higher highs here on NQ. We're already seeing bullish structure, so I would wait out NASDAQ. So just a quick update there. And then with shorts, okay, so now looking at 6J, looking at the yen, looking at other, what is going to be the best opportunity for sells? Is it the yen? So here is Asian session. We see the pump. This is about towards the end of Asian session. If you look at, let's say, NZD, does NZD have a similar opportunity? Not really. It actually looks more like liquidity. If we look at like the Swiss franc, nah, not really. Like it doesn't really make lower lows, not the same way as the yen did here. So okay, this is decent. It's not making alerts. Why is this not working properly? All right, so looking at euro, makes a similar move to the upside a little bit later. USD CAD doesn't really have that sweep to the upside at all. You have the pound that's been way more bearish. So this could go higher for sure. This might want to trade out of here, honestly. See the move up? Oh, it kind of happens here. Move up, down, back up here. So the pound has an aggressive move up before it drops. And it's more likely that this goes, if this is the dollar, and this would be the dollar losing strength. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this. Right now, the yen could be a possible play. I think I'm leaning more towards shorting over here, though, than right here. So this is my main zone. I would take this one if like we kind of see the market slow down up into this range, or if it's happening during Asian session. Interesting. Look at how we're seeing a shift in momentum right now. What does that mean? That means that NASDAQ is dropping. Last 2 minutes has been dropping. Or the last, my bad. Yeah, the last last 5 minutes or so. Bearish price action. Meanwhile, we're seeing bullish price action with Dow. This is the market getting a little bit annoying. I'm still leaning with NASDAQ because we actually got higher time frame bullish structure here. And we've been trading, for 25 minutes above the previous highs in this range. So waiting for the entry right around here. Yeah. This could be good. Let's see what happens in real time. We might see kind of both. And then giving you just a slightly zoomed out, higher time frame perspective between Dow and Q. So where could we be trading? We saw Dow now clear not just London, but yesterday's lows, and we saw it clear Wednesday's New York lows, trading into London session low here, mitigating and then flying, absolutely ripping. So now the higher time frame has been cleared out. Higher time frame has been cleared out here. Meanwhile, we're seeing NASDAQ could still go lower, trading into Thursdays, Wednesday's lows. Well, now Dow has already done all that. So interesting. We'll be responding again to price action. Let's see how this goes. We may see the market come into this area, and then we can take a buy depending on how this goes. Maybe we take our buy with Dow closer to where we've seen some of these lows. So for example, we've seen some support over here, so resistance over here. Kind of these areas right there might have some opportunity here. We'll see. Yeah, wow, price action looking solid. Do any of you guys take entries based off of just the liquidity capture? Like if it's cleared up enough liquidity, let's say like the lows a midweek or, a couple days worth of liquidity within one day. For example, today we saw it clear you see it drop 150 points or something. And not only did it clear all of yesterday's price action, but it ends up trading into taking out Wednesday's price action too. Anyone just take these like extremes, buys on these extremes, just by any chance? I'm just curious. I didn't, but just curious to see if you guys have that. I like the secondary, bless you. I like the secondary, like the added confirmations of not just having a liquidity sweep, because you don't know, okay, well, how much liquidity is this going to sweep? I like the added benefit of taking out liquidity and then seeing if the market's going to create demand at certain levels or not. So that's what I like to see happen. Take a look at CAD JPY. Okay. If you missed Mike while we were on vacation, hit the heart button. That's sweet of you. Took a little more than I wanted to. I made not a full R. In oil buys, nice. Sounds awesome. Would be helpful. Can add updates. Sweet. 5-minute mitigation plan, USD JPY. Did we already go over that, Joe? Based on what you were looking at? Okay, cool. So yeah, we'll have this one locked in here. Let's see where we go. The yen could look like a good short, though. Yeah. See some updates. Gold looks like it's still going lower. So, again, I wasn't waiting for any ideas there. And then while gold pushed lower, so did silver. So both of these making its way further down. Silver dropped right into equal lows. Trading now around Monday's New York low. Gold here. Now approaching last Thursday's sell-off. So gold dropping a bit faster, whereas silver is still trading kind of like around here somewhere. So I wonder if I wanted to take a buy, I would want one with silver, but I don't see anything yet. So maybe we get a play on silver where it clears these lows into this imbalance, and then we kind of do something like this. Maybe we get something like that. So oh shit, that's not what that was supposed to be like. Hold on. Okay, here we go. All right, yeah. So we'll see. Maybe we get something like this. Yeah, she went over. All good. Perfect. What else you guys got for me? Okay. Yeah, man. So indices today not giving us entries right away. Practice taking the right trades. Don't force nothing. All right. Don't get crazy on me. Don't start just taking trades because you're bored. You've just been sitting in front of a screen for an hour, 90 minutes or so. All right, let's take a look at oil. Oil dumping right now. Big old dookie. Okay. So, what to do? Some of you maybe bought oil. You brave soldiers. I'm not as cool as you, for sure. I didn't love the highs. So like this here is too brief. This here goes up and then right back down. This goes up and right back down. So not my ideal scenario. I bought. Cool. So yeah, if you guys bought, I get why you would buy. Like you have the sell off. Like this is what I would understand, right? You see this, so you're like, all right, cool. Let me buy in this range. I just see a couple red flags. Gio, what's up, Gio? Good to see my boy here. Despite his suspicious behaviors, you know, sometimes there's some suspicious images. Right, Gio? But yeah, so the liquidity here I don't love, and then the fact that when we get these highs, they're just really short-lived. I think I would rather sell than buy. I think I'd like sells here instead. So we'll see. For some reason, my alerts aren't fucking working, but something like this looks better for me. I get it though, and I mean it's working out right now, so good stuff. Like looks like it's rejecting this, so I don't know how much of a rejection you're gonna get, but that's just my take. Anyways, that's just how I trade. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm right. It's just what I would do. And right now, on top of all that, in the buy, all right, the Giovanni's are in buys. Sweet. And this also is in alignment with what we're kind of seeing, which is like a loss of like the mitigation here, the push to the upside, mitigation there. So it just looks like we're starting to see distribution. And if you look at how the market is just kind of rolling out, it's a lot of liquidity. I feel like there's just a lot of reason for the market to keep dropping. So let's see if we get into sells later on. So here, potential sell. Here is oil. Okay. So we got oil, CL. That doesn't look like the chart. What's up with this shit? Why are you being weird? All right, maybe that's better. Okay, this is going to be the image. But I want the link too. So you guys, some of you might prefer having a link than the image. Okay, what the fuck? Strange. Maybe I'll do this. I'll just post this instead. Forgot I could do that. Just publish ideas. Or not. Yo, what is going on? Alright, so TradingView said basically just fuck me. Fine. Alright, so I'll send those later. I wonder, can I make a video then? Is this the Great Rebellion? Ahead of publishing your video, blah, 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 blah. Recording begins. Okay, stop recording. Yeah, 60 minutes. Okay. All right, great. Allow. Share. Share it. Allow. 3, 2, 1. Okay, basically, I'm looking for a short here. This is a buildup of liquidity over the course of the last month. And right now we've seen mitigation, distribution here, and now a sweep to the high before it drops again. So I'm looking for a sell in here, probably closer to 66.35. And then immediate targets would be here. So looking like something like this. something like that. And then, yeah, first target, great target, 4.2R, 4.21. And then the swing, let's say you are trading personal futures or CFDs, then would be clearing, just breaking through this trend line, which looks like it'd be passed towards a 7R. But this looks nice right there. So, yeah, that's the play on oil. Nice and easy. There you have it, folks. 3, 2, 1. Okay, basically, looking for a short here. This is cool. Download this guy. Let's see. Oil, July 25, 2025. That quality doesn't look great at all. I wonder if it's just how it's loading right now, and maybe it'll be better later. Or, oh yeah, it looks like it's still doing its thing here. Continue to publishing, or it's just gonna look that shitty. That might be the case. I am doing a lot right now, so that doesn't look good. The frames look terrible. Can you guys still see me? Did you guys just see all of this happen, or is this frozen? Well, guess we'll see. Continue. Continue? What the fuck? Okay. Usually that leads to something else. It didn't for some reason. That was weird. All right, well, whatever. Something's bugging for sure. It was definitely not supposed to do it like that. All right, whatever. I don't know if that video actually ended up getting published. For the people that follow me on my TradingView account, can you let me know if it published or not? If it didn't, then I guess I'll just do it again after this. Okay. Still ranging on NASDAQ, which is good, which means that there's demand at these levels. So with pullbacks, and it's also building liquidity here. So pullbacks are likely to clear these type of lows. Okay, cool. All right, let's just look at natural gas and squeezing. So look, sweep to the low, likely. Sells maybe up here. I've just basically decided to stay away from this. Oh, wow, the buy on natural gas from early in the month did end up playing out really well. Nice. I just haven't traded it. Mexican peso, very bullish. NZDCHF. Sorry, I've been totally ignoring that just because I don't trade NZDCHF. And I can look at it though, so just give me a sec here. Peso looks like we can get a buy over here. Let's see, like this. You see the sell off and then the continuation. Looks good. What do you guys think? So nice little play over here. Decent. I don't love these wicks down there, but this is making a higher high, and it's been trading here for like 2 days now, so pretty solid. Hey, nice. I did look at oil, and I did not like buys. I prefer sells. What you doing, Nas? What's good, bro? Yo, they're gonna take you out, homie. Scram. All right, so pending ideas, Mexican peso, and I'll put these all right now under review. I'll make some videos and share them. I'll just post them on YouTube, I guess. So we got that. I think it was this one. We had oil as well. What else did I have? Yen. And then I think that's about it. Okay. Now relating to indices, we're seeing still another push even higher with Dow, Nasdaq still going higher. This doesn't mean this can't play out. It's just gonna take longer, I guess. Cool. All right, that's really all I'm gonna go over today in relation to just like day trading with crypto. I think, and I talked about this yesterday on the syndicate session, but saying how we could push higher, like we're seeing right now, sweep liquidity, play into near these order blocks. I don't think we're quite there yet, so we drop down, and then if we see enough demand, then we would trade higher. I feel like we're gonna break below still, so we kind of got to here, chopped up a little bit. Got over here, came up for a bit, just coming right back down. So I'm not fully convinced that Bitcoin is done quite yet. I think either it's going to push a bit further into July 10th price action around here, or we end up playing down into this zone too. So these are kind of the key areas where you could probably have a good shot at accumulating a bit more of your favorite alts. Because you're definitely going to see some discounts right now across the board as the market does its thing. There's not too much. Looks like one AI coin here is pumping. I haven't looked at the overall market, but average looks like a day, good discounts. If you are, XRP's been dumping. Jesus. Yeah, I wonder where it comes back to. Yeah, it looks like it's not done yet. Anyone take your profits here? Hopefully somebody did. Sol also, big sell-off. I took some profits and actually I moved around. So I took some profits here and then moved to USDC. And then, 2 days ago, I bought more dog. Basically around where we're at now, actually. It was like right around here somewhere. There's a good chance we go play down towards 3 again. So it's good chance. Stack them up. I wouldn't say you need to necessarily dive into it yet. I think we're going to go lower. So if you want to wait a little longer and then accumulate more of your favorite assets, feel free to do so. For stocks as well, have a bit more. I'm looking at here. So Intel had a good drop today, gap down. Not surprised at all. We were building up liquidity here, so you're gonna get your fear news events as well. But this really shouldn't be a surprise. We had a lot of liquidity building up, so classic, and then trades right into here. Boom. So today's a good for stacking up some more. The fact that we've been squeezing like this, earnings reports are not for another 90 days or so. So a squeeze like this usually leads to pretty big breakouts. So if you believe in this growth, then I think this is an easy 60% move from around where we're at now. So journey continues here. No fear on my end, at least. But yeah, this is looking. Stack up some more. Let it rip, and then I'll take some gains over here. What up with Jim? Nigga Jim? The D-Gen play? Nigga Jim. I still have some. Yeah, I still have some. That's like holding during altcoin season rip, and then if something happens, cool. Take some profits. Please take a look to the link I sent here on YouTube before. I can't see links on YouTube. There are no links on YouTube. You can drop it in the exchange. All right, I'm going to just post this. I'm going to figure out what's going on with the links or something. I'm not really sure why they're happening that way. Let's see. Classic. Just why? What does this have to do with anything, Christian? Why are you 7K here? All right. Sorry, buddy. If you post weird shit, you're gonna get the boot. Spam, bruh. Real time bootage. Cool. Also, for those of you that do want to apply to the syndicate, which is a 1-year mentorship program, you can just click right there, and then we'll book a call. We'll set it up. So NASDAQ's still ranging. Look at how Dow is now catching up. It's now about to make higher highs. What I will say is this. If the market here, if we end up getting even higher, stay alert with this, because we may end up seeing Dow be the better trade. And we may end up actually taking Dow instead of NQ. So watch how we work our way down. Be mindful of how the market pulls back later on, because it looks like, at least recently, NASDAQ is only moving sideways while Dow is pushing higher and higher. To learn why not taking the re-entry of Dow. Re-entry, I mean, there was no entry, so I don't know how, we can't really have a re-entry. And yeah, we could take a buy on Dow. I'm just watching price action. Just want to see how it plays out. So stocks wise, bloody day. If you ever see double digits or higher upper single digits, and it's one that's in your list, definitely take a look at that. Let's see. Right now, one that I'm buying is ENPH, so I'm adding to this one. And then so Intel, ENPH are the big ones for me at the moment. Bull, waiting to see if we get a pullback a little bit lower. So after a big move up, it did start to drop down already. So let's see if we can get a little bit better positioning there. Coinbase has been absolutely on fire. So some of you are up 2-3x on this stock, or more, depending on what year you got it. Waiting on GME. I want to see a spike down before scooping some of this. I think that's about it. Etsy rally after the huge dump into here. I talked about 50 being a good re-entry zone. So some of you, if you did take this on 50, you're up maybe 27%. I actually didn't. I just kind of forgot. There's a lot to keep track of. But yeah, cool. That's about it. Chewy, I'm already positioned into this what I wanted to. So if this once it starts running, I'll just keep you guys in mind. Not one that I'm like long term. I'm not really worried about this one long term. So even if we get into some drawdown, it's kind of whatever for me. Cool. All right, cool. So stocks wise, I guess call the actions for this is just what I do. You guys, I'm just sharing with you what I do. Is I'm adding positions into Intel. I'm adding into, on the solar side of things, into ENPH. And then into the meme side of things, I'm waiting on a bigger drop on GME. Specifically, I want to see us get below 1750, or basically get below 18 before any entries. And then I would be taking it up into around like 30, above 31 towards 3250. This is kind of the range. So something like this, basically. Here. So you can see maybe like 75% growth on something like that. I'd be cool with that. Do you like YM around 44,859 if bull? Around 44,859. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Yeah, like 44,860. That looks great. If it's the one to run, yeah. Like this zone looks solid. Hold on. Let's see, where is this thing? Yeah, all around here looks good. Could be a good play. Definitely. Yeah, look at that. This thing is ripping, man. And NQ already played up into the zone. Oh, look at this. The shorts. Here's where I wanted to say. Oh, I didn't even see it. Oh, that's right. My alert did not working. That sucks. Well, whatever. But now we're trading up towards the highs of Thursday's Asian session here. And I would have wanted to sell. Dow is lagging behind. So we saw NASDAQ get to these areas first. But price action wise right now, NQ is way more bearish. So I wonder what this is going to look like for shorts around here. We have a lot of liquidity building up on indices. So do we get a drop? I think we get a drop soon. Right now we saw it spike up. We see the market come back down, holding this much better. Yeah, I wonder if we're going to get, if the short makes sense, whether it's with an NQ or it's going to be with Dow. And then, I mean, you can always look at S&P as well. S&P here, somewhere in the middle in this. Here's like that last push. So S&P, you know, you got this right there. So if you want to have all three here, which we could, here's how they're lined up right now. So if you want to look at just real-time price action, we're seeing S&P somewhere between 618 and 786 pullback. You can see NASDAQ at almost a 786 pullback. And then you're seeing Dow shorting and almost making an 886 pullback. So if we were to sell anything, it looks like S&P 500. The short looks kind of the most, the most set up for success would be somewhere in here. I rarely trade S&P, but today looks like could be the day. S&P rebalancing right away, playing out of the kind of the open of this big move. I think it can go higher though. Yeah, I'd stay a bit more patient. And then RR wise, obviously you want to, keep in mind if it's worth selling or not anyways. Where would you want to take this to? If this was going to work out, where do you have your confirmation? The 2R looks very doable. Could go even lower. It just kind of depends on where the market's at. Right now we saw the sweep above New York Open with Dow above into the imbalance. with Dow as well. And then the Asian session highs are right here. So now we wait a little longer. Cool. Here's indices. And what we do for the long is going to be based on how we work our way down. So yeah, I'm going to stay waiting here. Cool. Let me see if I can get a link. If this time it'll actually do something. Okay, I know the image is, this one's working, so I can do that here. And then let me add this to the list. Okay, indices, see image. Perfect. Oh, it's already starting to sell off. Interesting. Interesting. So if it sells early, didn't quite get there. I'm going to wait. I think we can get higher. Only way I'd end up getting into something would be if we end up seeing typical like bearish and then we just really trade down here. You know, we create demand over here and then maybe we short within this. But that would be really the only case. We'd really have to build a case that the market is now creating demand at these lower levels. If this just comes down and then right back up, then, you know, none of that, then it's not really, there's nothing really to talk about, which it looks like it's kind of doing. So, yeah, keep that in mind. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Keep up with the community. We have more and more in here. Let's see, Puccini, what you got? NZD USD. One day I'll understand your charts. Where's your fib at? Don't know where you drew this. So okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. Are you looking for a buy over here? Looks like you're looking for a buy right there, maybe. And then, yeah, I would say there's not enough information for me to get into buys yet. The higher time frames, like down here, I think you're looking for a buy. I like this one a bit better. Say wait for, you know, our confirmations in order to get in. But yeah, your fibs are what kind of really would throw me off, and I don't understand the intention behind them. But yeah, so maybe a little bit. Maybe you wrote something here, and I'll understand it better. Okay. Yes. This. Okay. I see. So sweep looks like equal lows here though, and then you get higher highs, but this doesn't really last too long. I would personally stay out of NZD. But thanks for sharing. I'd say work on maybe a bit more clarity. And then if you add more of what your confirmations are to there, then that can help. Now, yes, thank you for the reminder, Seth, Clutch. Guys, in the calendar, you'll see we're going to be hosting a Psychology Sunday Q&A. So you'll see that here. It'll be a Zoom call. This will only be available in the community, so make sure you are in here. Make sure you're in here. I'll go ahead and drop it. So join the community if you're not in already. There's a link to it. Yeah, we're going to go in depth. Don't miss out. And we'll be live all week. Folks. So plug in. Look at the difference, guys. Look at the difference right now. Dow Jones trading up into the zone. NASDAQ lower, making lower lows here, trading down here. Interesting. Meanwhile, S&P is somewhere in between both of them. So, interesting. I think we probably see the market Dow maybe clear these highs, and that maybe pulls this back up. It's a little bit of a trickier price action, honestly. Not my favorite kind of day, where they kind of go back and forth. Dow goes up, one goes down, and it's just a mess. So I would rather look for shorts right now on NASDAQ. S&P is kind of playing somewhere in between both of them. So looks like it maybe is already looking to mitigate there, and there it goes. So what makes more sense? The buys on NQ do not make sense anymore since Dow now is so bullish. I think that we probably get a good case here. We could probably see a short on NQ and then, trade it down and probably trade it under here, to be honest. So let's see how the market unfolds from here. But we're already seeing NASDAQ take the lead on the drop. So you're already seeing it short. Dow could have been a profitable sell. I didn't take this, and that's fine. I stick to my rules. I stick to price action. I stick to the divergence. That's how I know how consistently it should work. And then, we'll see. So look at this. Yeah, just like that, Dow just selling off. So interesting. Basically, every trade I was like, oh, it looks good, but I'm not going to take. Yeah, all of those have worked. And now look at this. Now Dow is coming short. Now it's bleeding. And then, of course, it's now it's more bearish. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes, guys. Maybe we'll get an entry, and Dow now suddenly becomes the seller. So wait for price action to confirm the rest of it and go from there. Cool. All right, guys. Much love. I will see you on the next one. I'll see you guys Sunday for the trading psychology Q&A, and then we'll be back here on Monday too. So